Now to something different, and that is something that will impact on humanity, and that is the first annual Black Tie Gala by the trustees of the Tristate Heart Foundation to raise funds in support of cardiovascular care in Nigeria.
The Black Tie event kicked off with a nice cocktail. A gathering of top government functionaries and other special guests at the first Tri-State Heart Foundation's first annual Black Tie Gala and fundraising dinner in support of cardiovascular care in Nigeria. A relaxed and entertaining evening it was for the guests, all with one thing on their minds, that is, to raise the sum of 500 million naira for cardiovascular care in the country. Heart diseases are the leading cause of deaths in non-communicable diseases globally, with Nigeria's statistics showing that 1 in 10 children don't make it to their first birthday, and 5 in 10 adults in Nigeria have elevated blood pressure challenges. This has caused some distinguished personalities to take the bull by the horn under the Tri-State Heart Foundation to look for ways to tackle the disease.
Our objective as a foundation is to make life meaningful, and we hope to achieve it starting from tonight by raising funds for indigent patients, especially children under the age of 10. We plan to sponsor a minimum of 150 open heart surgeries in the next 1 year.
I have to tell you that every single dime that we get from the Heart Foundation is going to be spent on taking care of these patients. So we plan to raise money to also make sure that we spend money on research.
Lauding this project by the Tri-State Heart Foundation, the Health Minister, Professor Isaac Adewale, who was the keynote speaker, expressed the concerns of the government and the willingness to work with the private sector.
In the early part of next year, we generate necessary data for effective planning and service delivery. I also want to inform you that we have developed guidelines on nutrition for the prevention, control, and management of NCDs, as well as guidelines for the control and management of sickle cell disease. These guidelines are available to set the clinical and institutional standards for preventing and managing these interrelated conditions.
Oh yeah, shake body. Oh yeah, move body.
At the occasion, our state governors like Abiola Ajimobi of Oyo State, Ibikunle Amosun of Ogun State, Rauf Aregbesola of Osun State, Akinwumi Ambode of Lagos, the chairman of MZO, Dr. Stella Okoli, the chairman CEO of Channels Media Group, Mr. John Momo, who is also the vice chairman of the foundation, the chairman of the board of directors of Stanbic IBTC Stockbrokers Limited, Mrs. Shola David Bora, the former EFCC boss, Mr. Nuhu Ribadu, the former governor of Ekiti State, Mr. Asegun Oni, a former group managing director and chief executive officer of First Bank of Nigeria Limited, Mr. Bisi Onosanya, industrialist Chief Pius Akinyelure, amongst others, all throwing their weight behind the laudable cause.
It's relevant for us to know that it's not really wealth that guarantees good life and long life. It's the organization of the limited resources we have and management of those resources that will translate to good life and fantastic health.
The truth is this: the larger number of people that are going to benefit from what we're doing tonight actually live in Lagos. So the most important thing is this: Lagos State must come frontally to support whatever it is that we're doing here.
One of the high points of the evening was the award presentation. As the Vice Chairman of the Tristate Heart Foundation, Mr. John Momo, on behalf of the foundation, presented awards in recognition of individuals for their commitment to the cause of humanity. They include President of the Down Syndrome Foundation, Mrs. Rosemary Mordi, the Vice Chancellor of Babcock University, Professor Stephen Ademola Tayo, Mrs. Claire Omasheye, Professor Kamar Adeleke, and Professor Paul Davis and Fumi Roberts. The foundation is soliciting the support of well-meaning Nigerians in order to help them execute this project that will greatly impact on humanity.